Hello, my name is JD Rebel Ruddle, um, not to be confused with the JD Rebel who wrestles out of Texas. I'm going to talk about Wrestlemania 19 and No Way Out 2003. And start out, I want to say hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas, enjoyed the holiday season, and I hope you have a very Happy New Year and be blessed. So the first match I want to talk about um, from WrestleMania 19 would be Matt Hardy and Rey Mysterio. It should have been a hell of a lot longer. It was disappointing, and you know Matt Hardy kept cheating to win, and as much as I hated that, uh, it is what it is. The Undertaker faced Big Show and A Train. It was supposed to be a tag team match with Nathan Jones, and it was kind of a cluster F. I'm trying to watch what I say so more people can watch my videos. I'm not always PC. I don't want to be, but there you have it. All right, but Undertaker, Big Show, and A Train was just a big ball of crap, and it shouldn't have happened. The Undertaker's undefeated streak shouldn't have had that involved. It should have just been something completely different. And why they picked Nathan Jones for his possible tag team opponent is beyond me, because he was really just no, no, thank you. He's a better actor than he is a wrestler. We had Trish Stratus and Victoria, and of course, not like women's matches today, it was short and sweet. All of the matches today last at least 15 minutes. They have to. I mean, Charlotte Flair puts on a freaking clinic every night she steps in the ring. And back in the Ruthless Aggression era, uh, the women were just seen as, what Vince wanted them to be seen as. And it lacked substance, and it was really just kind of cock off. I love Trish Stratus, but this match was just, kind of like a dent on the road, if you will, a pothole dent on the road. What a stupid expression. That Team Angle, um, they beat Chris Benoit and Rhino as well as Los Guerreros, which was one of my favorite matches on the card because I loved all of these guys. Charlie Haas is such an incredible athlete. I'm a big fan of his. Shelton Benjamin too. Um, they were one of my favorite tag teams during this feud and during their tenure in WWE. And to see hardcore icons like Rhino and Chris Benoit um, on this match, as well as Los Guerreros. So it was just an incredible treat because each and every one of these guys had just a tremendous amount of talent. And there's really nothing much I can say about that. It was just a great match from start to finish. I wish it could have been longer, but it was still a really fun match to watch. Um, I do believe our next match, Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho, was the greatest match on the card. And if you're a wrestler um, who's struggling out there, or an independent wrestler who needs to find a new niche, um, watch this match and model your career after it. You won't go wrong. Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels is one of those matches that will stand the test of time because it was great from start to finish. Everything they did was perfect. The, there was nothing bad about this match whatsoever. And if you pick it apart for anything and say anything bad about it, whether you're David Meltzer or Alvarez, I don't know what their opinion on it was back then, but if your opinion on this match is, oh, that was crap, you really should probably go see a shrink and reevaluate your life. uh, Triple H versus Booker T was a big disappointment because I'm a big Booker T fan, and I really wanted him to win the championship from Triple H. It was really weird hearing the crowd cheer for Triple H, because Triple H was supposed to be the heel at the time, so that really confused me and left a bitter taste in my mouth. Hulk Hogan versus Vince McMahon was a really fun match. It was probably one of the more entertaining matches on the card. I believe it was a street fight, and even though Vince can't wrestle, he's always kept up his physique by working out. And him and Hogan with a steel pipe going at each other is pretty crazy. It almost feels like Vince wrote out the Hulk Hogan story for Hulkamania to go in that direction when it was time to say goodbye to Hulkamania or whatever. Um, The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, I didn't know that this was going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin's last match, so it didn't leave a bittersweet feeling for me or anything like that, like other fans may have felt, because I'm sure some fans knew, but I didn't. Uh, but not seeing Stone Cold wrestle again after that, um, I still clamored for Stone Cold to be on the screen, so I was still a fan. Still wanting him to come back, and so that was a bummer that we didn't get Stone Cold anymore after WrestleMania 19. But he is one of the greatest to ever lace up a pair of boots and step in that ring. Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle, scariest match on the card because of what happened to Kurt, because of what happened to Brock, um, with the moonsault coming off of the top turnbuckle. Uh, if you land on your head, yeah, you're not going to remember the match. I don't think anybody would have remembered that match, and Brock does not. Brock does not remember that match because of what happened, him coming off that top turnbuckle and landing on his effing head. Yeah, we're lucky we still have him. Even though some of us might not want him to still be the WWE champion 19 years later. He may be good for money, he may be good for business, in Vince's eyes, but I don't know if I want to see Brock Lesnar as the WWE champion 19 years to the day going into WrestleMania 38. It's freaking weird. I don't know what to think about it. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle. And from start to finish, it was a freaking clinic. Kurt Angle is absolutely one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time. He's proved that when he won a golden medal with a broken freaking neck. And he'll remind you about it every time you talk about it. That's right. I won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. He even says it to his wife when he's at home eating spaghetti. He's sitting there twirling his spaghetti, drinking his milk. Hey, babe, you give me some garlic bread? Why don't you get it yourself? Ah, but I've won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Don't you pull that broken freaking neck stuff on me. Apparently, he loves to do that at home. I would too. I would rub it in people's faces also. Um, that milk drinking son of a bitch. Uh, I think that's it for WrestleMania 19. Let's move on to No Way Out 2003. We had Scott Steiner versus Triple H on the card, and it was a huge disappointment for me because I'm a big Scott Steiner fan, and I wanted obviously wanted Scott Steiner to win. Um, Freakzilla, Big Booty Daddy, Big Papa Pump, holler if you hear me. Uh, I wanted to talk about this match first because I absolutely hated it. Like I love the match itself, but because Scott didn't win, I just want to piss all over this match and move on to the next one. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Eric Bischoff. Let's get this one out of the way too, because I hated it just as much. Um, I'm glad Stone Cold Steve Austin whooped Eric Bischoff's ass, but it should have lasted for a hell of a lot longer, because I don't even think it lasted 7 fucking minutes. Oh, I dropped an F bomb. Sorry, my apologies. If it offends you, move the fuck on. Um, we also had The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. As entertaining as it was, it didn't last a hell of a lot. Um, it didn't last very long. Uh, I mean, it's great to see two guys that can entertain the crowd, but when the match doesn't even last freaking 15 minutes, what the hell can you say? I mean, I realize Hogan was probably in his 50s at the time, but when you have two of the biggest icons in wrestling of all time wrestling at WrestleMania, shouldn't it go on at least 15 freaking minutes? I just didn't think it was as good as their first match, and I don't even remember how long that was, but I do know that this match should have lasted longer. And but it was still really cool seeing The Rock as a heel because I loved his entrance at the time, and his whole personality of being a heel was just tremendous. He has just tremendous heel work. Um, Other matches we had on the card: Brock Lesnar and Chris Benoit. They defeated uh, Team Angle, which was Charlie Haas, Kurt Angle, and Shelton Benjamin. And Brock Lesnar and Chris Benoit as a tag team was really interesting because you have a technical wrestler and you have a powerhouse. Now, even though Brock Lesnar has an amateur background, you don't really see a whole hell of a lot of it. It's really limited because he is such a big guy and his powerhouse moves are really incredible to watch. And so seeing them as a tag team was really unique, and I really enjoyed that match. Um, Seeing Kurt Angle as a heel again, with Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas, their work together was, phenomenal. They worked great as a team. I can't say enough positive things about Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas, let alone Kurt Angle. So this was one of my favorite matches on the card. The Undertaker and the Big Show was a really good match. Um, I would have to say it would probably be my second favorite match on the card because it certainly wasn't Stone Cold versus Eric Bischoff. That was just the biggest disappointment. I hated that because I was so excited about Stone Cold coming back, and then we got that, you know. But I understood with the neck injury and all, years later. But back then, I didn't know, watching it back in the day, that Stone Cold was wrestling with an injury. But watching it back then, it was really disappointing, and watching it today, it's still disappointing. Um, we also had Matt Hardy versus Billy Kidman. Um, one of the better matches on the card, but nowhere near my favorite. I've always been a big Matt Hardy fan. I've enjoyed Billy Kidman's WCW days a hell of a lot more than I did his WWE days. For the simple fact that I think his work was a lot better in WCW. but it was still a decent match. Lance Storm and William Regal versus Kane and Rob Van Dam. That was one of my one of my more favorite matches. I don't know why I would say favorite matches, but just one of my more enjoyed matches. I'll put it that way. I always enjoy seeing William Regal and Kane and Rob Van Dam. I can't say the same for Lance Storm. I like his work, but I don't know. There's just something about his character that I didn't always like. But it was still a really good match, and anything Rob Van Dam or Kane is in is always usually pretty damn good, as well as William Regal. I've always enjoyed his work all the way from WCW, seeing him as Lord Steven Regal, teaming up with Gentleman Chris Adams, and having his rivalries with Johnny B. Bad, and let's see here, there probably would have been matches with Stunning Steve Austin and probably Brian Pillman and Sting as well. I've always enjoyed Regal's WCW work as much as his WWE work, maybe a little bit more. But I always enjoy seeing William Regal. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and so it was really nice seeing him in a match with Rob Van Dam because to me that's unique because there's completely different styles. You have a technical wrestler and a brawler going up against a high flyer and a hardcore wrestler. Completely different styles. So that was a really enjoyable match for me. Chris Jericho, sorry, Chris Jericho versus Jeff Hardy um, was one of my favorite matches on the card. I really enjoyed that. They put on a clinic from start to finish. Um, I was really pulling for Jeff Hardy, but and I think a lot of people probably were too, uh, uh, rather than Chris Jericho because Jeff Hardy's just always been such a positive influence inside the ring. He may have his issues outside the ring, but inside the ring he's all business, and he puts on a fucking clinic every time. And I've always enjoyed his work, and he brings out the best in people, and I think Chris Jericho does too, and that's why their match works so well. And even though Chris Jericho got the win, I felt like Jeff Hardy had one of the better performances of the night. And I believe that's all of the matches. I think we talked about them all. We talked about Steiner and Triple H, Stone Cold and Bischoff, The Rock and Hogan. Yeah, we've talked about them all. So, thanks guys for watching. I appreciate it. Um, don't forget to check out OZWF, Ozark Wrestling Federation. If you haven't seen the video yet, I revealed one of our championships, which is the OZWF Greco-Roman Global Heavyweight Championship. And I really hope we can get a fan base going um, and get some shows down the road. We're just starting out. We're a brand new promotion. I really appreciate all you guys for watching and following as much as you do. Don't forget to like, share, and follow. And I hope you guys have a very great year here in 2022. Stay safe and be good to each other.